With all the technological innovations that happened over the past 25 years, I sometimes wonder whether or not, as a 36-year-old man, that I'm maybe too young or maybe at the right age to have one of those kids these days moments. I mean, I don't completely agree with the people in this world that bitch nobody wants to work anymore because, well, nobody gets really paid to do anything. Your wage can't go anywhere. You're stuck sharing apartments with hundreds of other people. But, we're also in the grip of social media and electronics addictions, and that's unbelievably indicated in four of the apprentices that were recently hired at work for the sheet metal trade. None of them panned out. In fact, one guy left voluntarily because basically he's one of those guys that gives up on a job as soon as he gets it. Whine and complain, this is too difficult, that is too difficult, can I take a smoke break? No, we don't have smoke breaks. You don't smoke at work. For context, I run a sheet metal shop. Bizarrely enough, for the second time in my life, I used to work for a small business in my hometown under the founding owner's 5-year retirement stretch. The shop was just me and the forklift by 2010. He sells the place in 2012. I'm acting foreman because the guy he sold it to wanted to turn me into a field guy, but he's an idiot. More on that later. So I moved to my current place of employment, which will also be a story for another time. 6 years into working where I currently work, I was promoted shop foreman because the previous gentleman died of health complications. And somebody who's always had a lot of building toys as a kid, who taught himself to be really good with his hands quite by accident, I ended up falling in love with the sheet metal trade, and I just stayed in it. And I'm really good at everything that I do, mostly, except for finding time to fill out paperwork. The problem is because I'm it for people with my skill set, and there's a lot that I've picked up over the years as far as like institutional knowledge goes. I mean, I have secondhand everything in that shop second nature to me. It's almost nothing new, and a limited number of things that I don't already know about. Not hard to find. So, old man Clark introduced me to running CNC computers in 2010, and I've been running them ever since. I'm it for people with my skill set on the computer at work, which is kind of bothers me because I need I'm training other people to do it. There's two guys I can trust on that program to a degree I can't with anyone else. They'll be fine. But these apprentice guys, they ain't got a fucking clue. The lazy guy I'm talking about, I don't know how the hell you go through the American education system and you get out and you can't read a ruler and you're not interested in reading or writing. And this guy would openly brag about having bad workplace attributes. Oh, don't give me a piece of paper with information on it. Piece of paper I'm referring to was a printout of a spreadsheet with all the company cell phone numbers on it. Information you kind of need to know. And he's like, oh, what do you want me to do with it? Like, put those numbers in your phone, or at least the highlighted ones. Yeah, the guy would show up on time, but he would leave randomly. Let's see, he'd look for reasons to not do his job. Not like he would hide in the bathroom or anything, but he would be openly lazy. I've never seen anything like it. The guy was a fucking blockhead. Can't read a ruler, can't write. Then he talks about how people don't want to teach him anything. It's like, well, because you act like you don't want to learn. And basically, the guy gave up on his job the day he got it. So I spent an entire week being mean to him simply because he was just an aggravating person with a poor attitude. He comes in one Thursday incredibly depressed. I was commenting to the project managers. Oh, I was mean to him all week. He came in depressed today. I think it just broke his spirit. Oh, well. Well, I got him kicked out of the shop onto job sites that he got kicked off of over and over and over again. He put in his week and a half notice a couple of months ago and did even less work than usual. I mean, I don't have anything against the guy for being Muslim, but if you go through Ramadan and then show up on job sites whining about how hungry and thirsty and tired you are, first of all, it's physical labor. You need to be well rested. Secondly, you can wake up early enough to have a meal before sunrise. He's not smart enough to figure out that's an option. I mean, you're not supposed to judge when you see somebody and they don't look very intelligent, but you want to give them a chance, but they don't look bright. Then they open their mouth and they're exactly as dumb as they look. That's this guy in a nutshell. And he got kicked off a job site twice in 2 days. Once for falling asleep on the job, and another time for just leaving randomly. And I got cut in on the email. Send him back to the shop. He's fucking useless. And my response to that email was, we send him home now instead of waiting until Thursday when he's on his last day just to get him out of my hair. And project management's like, no, John, you can't do that because you still got to pay him. Yeah, pay him to stay home. So I don't have to yell at the guy. In fact, I wouldn't even let him work at the shop. I sent him to the warehouse. And the warehouse manager commented he seemed depressed at all the work I had going on, and I wouldn't let him do it. It's like, well, he doesn't do a good job when he does his job. Unbelievable crap. And He has 6 months to figure out how to show up to work without being a whiny little bitch and couldn't fucking figure it out. So he left and we all celebrated. The next was project management picking off the remaining 3 apprentices because how do you go through 4 company cell phones in 6 months? How do you show up to work without your security badge? What do you think we give you a security badge because we like wasting plastic? It's like, bring your security badge, bring your phone. Your company work phone is how you clock in on jobs and how you get paid. How are you so irresponsible with company property? You, how do you fuck up getting paid? That's a new one to me. Above and beyond the rotating cycle of making sure the shop's bathroom is occupied for at least 4 hours a day, the fact they can't handle financial transactions without scanning their phones on a fucking vending machine. Listen to podcast shows like, dude, I'm asking you to cut square blanks. I'm asking you to finish an elbow. I'm asking you to do what's reasonable to do in the job. If you don't want this job, quit. You don't financially owe anything to the company because you were hired too late to be put into the night class. So they were all let go over the past couple of weeks. The largest round of layoffs I've seen in 18 plus years of me doing this. And it's like, yes, my classmates and I were easily distracted when we were going to tech school and school in general to begin with. But we still got our work done and can walk around without our phones being glued to our hands. Some of the guys I work with listen to podcast shows and whatnot, but they're not fucking wasting time taking personal calls in a fucking bathroom. Jesus Christ, kids these days can't get a fucking thing done. And yeah, I get it. The kids probably didn't have enough time parents probably didn't have enough time to spend with their kids. I mean, my parents openly admitted they parked me in front of a TV set and hoped for the best, and they got a borderline genius out of the whole deal because I had a natural vested interest in construction and science and technology and engineering shows. I can probably tell you how a septic system works at the age of 10 just because I found it interesting. But my God, this social media addiction is ruining the workforce. And I'm at the point in life where the next person fucking comes into the shop and thinks they're going to waste all day on their phone. I'm going to take it from them and cut it in half on the shear. Yes, the shear is designed for cutting metal, but whatever. Cut your fucking personal phone in half, keep your work phone on you, and if I can't reach you, bye. How do you go to and these kids went to a tech school. I went to a tech school. Class of 2007, Vinyl Regional Vocational Technical High School, class of 2007, and the exploratory, all 11 teachers said the exact same things. I don't want you here if you don't want to be here, and you have to be good at everything and apply yourself at everything, not just the shop that you want, because a job you're going to want to have is going to have things in it you're not going to want to do, but you can't just decide you don't want to do it and to do a bad job at it. How do you go to a tech school and not learn those things? Not have a work ethic. Waste time on your phone the whole fucking time. Scrolling over here, scrolling over there, personal call, texting other people. It's like, what the fuck, dude? You can't get a fucking thing done. It's probably a societal shift. I don't necessarily think it's going to get better because big tech has made it very clear that constant interruptions from apps and devices on apps on your phone and constant interruptions from messages and videos being interrupted with fucking commercials that nobody asked for. It's like, come on. Boy, am I glad I never had a cell phone when I was a teenager. I consider myself having turned out well because that's the case. These fucking apprentices, they ain't gonna get fucking anywhere in life on any other job they will have. The next jobs they get, they'll ask, oh, why were you cut off at 6 months? Yeah, inability to get off your personal phone. And that's my kids these days moment, knowing that the apprentices that were let go are between the ages of 18 and 21. I mean, it's not that nobody wants to work anymore because we found out work isn't rewarding. We also present work as this thing that you're expected to do in society in order to get anywhere, even if it doesn't really. It's like a societal... I'm not sure how to explain it. But it's always presented as this thing you're forced to do in society because society's pushing you into it. And as a result, makes it look like a chore that people avoid. I would like to say like the plague, but, given 6 years ago. And finding good help is unbelievably difficult these days. It is just so fucking annoying that another copy of me just doesn't exist. Hey, it's job security. I mean, the company I work for knows that I run half the place, and if it weren't for me, most of what gets done wouldn't get done. And I'm at a point where I'm actually seeing certain management mistakes rearing their ugly heads. Like a lot of the older guys didn't have the opportunity to train some of the younger apprentices years ago when some of the really good field guys I work with were apprentices. As a result, they're now running jobs into the ground because they don't necessarily have a grasp as to what they're doing. And all the older guys are either have been promoted to be project managers or they're facing retirement age, like Brett from my Brett and Butter segments. He's remarkably helpful for a guy with a bad back. And Mike, one of the other road foremen, he's also really good to work with. But the two of them are between 60 and 65, and they have health issues robbing their ability to do their work, and there's no suitable replacements. A talent gap is missing. I'm sure the other journeymen will rise to it eventually, because those guys seem to know what they're doing, but who's going to come after them, and what's the next generation of shop apprentices going to be? Is it going to be another round of kids these days with their goddamn phones and they're fucking wasting time? I'm just at my wits' end with this shit. This is... I'm at the point in life where I've fully realized technology is making everything incrementally worse. Discord used to be able to allow you to change your profile image whenever you want. I set mine to a screenshot from Train Simulator. I got to change it a couple of weeks ago, and now they want me to pay for a subscription service. This Manicam recorder I'm going to do as a subscription service because I was kind of over budget the last couple of weeks. So I don't have the money to upgrade. It's been a week or so. And oh my god, good help is so hard to find, and kids these days are misled in a way that they'll never, ever, ever, ever be able to fucking figure out. They'll never know how far gone they are with technology being glued to their phones being glued to their hands or the sides of their heads. And with the education system being incrementally sabotaged by artificial intelligence and remote learning, I predict it's only going to get worse from here. Whatever. I'll figure it out. I always do. And that's my kids these days moment at the age of 36. Anybody else feel like this?